I've learned a lot about anxiety, and the one thing that's coming to my head right now is I know that there's social anxiety versus just like the generalized anxiety disorder. Those are the two main ones that I've come in contact with in my life. I experienced social anxiety a little bit when I first got home from my mission and having to interact with everybody, you know, again, and not being a missionary and things not being so regimented. That was tough. So I had a really hard time being in like large groups of people or with, which I know is a struggle for people with high social anxiety. I have learned that it's extremely prevalent, and a lot more prevalent than I knew. But as I've made an effort to be vulnerable about it and be open about it with other people, I'm amazed at so many people that come to me that say, I know what you mean, like I have the same thing. Especially as I've shared things on Facebook where, you know, in that regard, there's so many people that come out. There's like hundreds of comments on one of the videos I posted of a song I wrote about anxiety. And it was so many people that I had no idea suffered from anxiety. But it's something that's so, it's so prevalent, but it's so silent. It feels like so many people suffer in silence without finding the help that they need, whether it's because they feel embarrassed about it or they feel like it makes them weak. But I know that the thing I've learned is the more open I am about it, especially at its times of severity, the more help I receive, the more comfort I feel in those moments. Because I can't avoid it, you know, it's part of my mental or my physical makeup. And it's something that I have to deal with. But one thing I'm learning is not to let it define me, because even though it is something that I do have, it's not everything that I am. Like, I'm still Kari, I still have talents, I still have abilities, I can still do stuff, you know, like I can still live my life and be happy, even though I do struggle with anxiety, as tough as it is. Just thinking about other people I know with anxiety, most of the time I feel like it manifests itself through like the shortness of breath, you know, or not being able to have rational thoughts. Like, you're so encompassed with one thought that you're not able to like do it on your own, get back to normal on your own. I didn't say that very well. But I know like some of my friends that have anxiety, a lot of times they call it the ruminating thoughts. It's like you struggle with something and then you move past it, but it's hard to like actually move past it. You find yourself going back to it a lot. And it's just part of the ruminating that happens with anxiety in your brain. I have a friend who really struggles with that. I have a friend who struggles with like suicidal thoughts as a byproduct of her severe anxiety. So that's a manifestation of it, I think. I think like getting exceptionally nervous for things, like really, really nervous more than normal, is a manifestation of anxiety. I think people who, I'm sure this isn't always the case, but people maybe who talk really fast or who are always really, really busy, who like move quickly or don't take breaks, that kind of thing, that can be, I think, a manifestation of anxiety, depending on the situation. Because a lot of times when you have anxiety, for me, and I've noticed in a couple other people that I've talked to, that you have self-deprecating thoughts, and that causes you to feel like you have to compensate. And so for me, I get really busy because I feel like I have to continually do things to like make up for what I feel like I lack, just constantly. And so it's part of the reason why I get so busy, that it does make me stressed, so it's kind of counterproductive. But that's some thoughts that and observations I've had.